Very good day. Welcome to the Cobra Rugby Club Facebook page as well as YouTube channel. I'm Rat, as usual. I'm with Dylan, the Vice President of Cobra, also the head of Cobrats, and my co-host. And we're here. We've got a really special show for you, in store for you, and it has been quite a dramatic week, a month. February. There's been lots of ups and downs this year. Beginning of the year, and we've got obviously a few announcements that we'd like to make before we go to the main subject of the of this show. Now, obviously, for those of you who've been following us on our social media, you've obviously have heard the news of the demise of one of our favorites at the club, the late Tan Soo Chong, also known as the Emperor. Who sadly passed away barely a week plus ago, and obviously, it was quite a shock for a lot of us in not only the Cobra family but the rugby fraternity. A man who was very much well loved, and had his own critiques, but he was known as the scoring machine, but one who didn't mince his words, but at the same time was very, very generous with his time and everything else.
He's like a pillar, and he's like a pillar. I don't have the same kind of relationship some of you guys had with him, but I call him a pillar because when you're at the club, he's always there, and he's always ready with an honest opinion, and that's right. And you need that in life, pretty much. Sometimes you're young, you get full in your head, and he'll tell you what's what.
Yeah. So we celebrate his. We would celebrate his life, obviously, but he would have been 65 this year. Another person just today is also a very significant day because it would have been Uncle Yo's 89th birthday. Sadly passed away in 2006, on February 23rd, which was 3 days before his actual birthday. So it's been 5 years and 3 days. Since he passed away. So
he's one of those guys, again, another pillar. He's always one of those guys that, it's of course, obviously his contributions to rugby and to all of us, and the legacy that we're trying to honor as part in all of this. Yeah, but he's one of those guys again. He's always smiling. It's always a positive environment when he steps on the field. He steps to the present when he's around, pretty much. You don't have to talk to him, but he's there for you.
That's right. So so it is his. I can't even say death anniversary, but it's his birth. It would have been his 89th, and sadly, we would love to have had him around, but it is what it is. We've got some questions here. Someone going Tess Ashraf. Jason McLean, is the Cobra 10s going ahead this year? In fact, that was the next thing that we were going to be talking about. We do have an answer for you. You're obviously, Dylan, you're part of the Exco, and they made a decision yesterday evening, and this is the decision that was made by the executive committee yesterday evening. In view of the current health and travel restrictions, we regret to inform our friends that we are compelled to postpone the Cobra 10s for another year. We're looking forward to hosting the elusive 50th Cobra 10s in 2022 and meeting up with all. So thank you for your understanding and support.
After 50 years, the snake is still hard to catch.
Yeah, I know. The 50th Cobra 10s is something that we've tried to hold last year, and this year has been, obviously the pandemic has just wiped everything out of the window, and obviously I think it would be good to know that we will need 2 years to plan it properly and go out with a bang. I know a lot of the seniors would like to go out with a bang. I mean, a lot of them want to retire after this, especially people like Captain Nazar, who's been organizing it for years and years, and Francis Chu, who's been tournament director since 1987 or something like that.
And same question, and hoping that our guest might make a return as well for the 5th year.
Well, there we go. So moving along, as we promised, if you have seen, sorry, there's Piers Stretch in Australia. There's no Cobra 10, sad news, but understandable. But hope to see you, Stretch, at the Cobra 10s in 2022. So start planning now. You're only in Melbourne, so make sure of it. Safar saying, so hopefully you will survive, sir. You should never say that. Uncle Safar saying, hopefully I survive for the next Cobra 10s. And Jason said, the Auckland Varsity Vipers will be at the tournament. Looking forward to joining you guys and having a good time and some great rugby. Thank you very much, Jason.
You're definitely. I want to say I was commentating on the Vipers game last couple of years, and I always enjoy commentating the Vipers game now.
The guys from New Zealand and the guys from South Africa were probably one of the best lots, whether they're the drinking team or the serious teams, but we've always had a lot of fun. And talking about a lot of fun and rugby, obviously this particular team has been I think probably very much part of the not only the Cobra Rugby Club, but has been a steadfast supporter of the Cobra 10s, and of course the main subject of this show is about them, and the Penguins are here on Cobra TV, and we've managed to catch the elusive man himself, the CEO of the Penguins. Let's welcome him on. Craig Brown, aka Brownie. How are you, Brownie? You're in Saudi at the moment, aren't you? Can you hear us?
All right, Craig.
Yes,
Brownie?
gentlemen, that's correct. In Saudi Arabia, for the time being, obviously we know what's happening in with the pandemic, etc. So not a lot of travel lately. Just working.
How have you been coping personally with the pandemic, especially with no rugby around?
Yeah. Obviously, bits and pieces on TV I get to see from time to time. Go to his place occasionally and watch the rugby league, but not a lot of rugby union. We're busy lockdowns like that. The case numbers are fairly low in places. Usual social distancing and wearing masks apply. Overall it's been frustrating not being able to travel, but still healthy Penguins in the background, although we're not traveling at all. So overall,
all right. Okay. Anyway, we'll get right down to it. Obviously, KL, we're all definitely in lockdown and everything, but hopefully we'll look to be able to have a bit of rugby. Fingers crossed by the end of next month. But in terms of obviously the Cobra 10s, you've just had the news that we've postponed it to 2022. Quick question: Are we going to be seeing the Penguins there?
Yeah. I'd certainly like to be there. That's for sure. The end of 2022. So what's that? About 21 months away. So long time. Within my heart, I certainly would like to be back at the Cobra 10s without a doubt.
Yeah, whether personally or with a team, probably be there anyway.
We can see the comments, Brownie.
Back, as you know, we've been. I think it's. Well, I've basically been in Cobra 10s 21, 22 times, something like that.
Yep. Quick hello from Sandra. Obviously, she came down in a few years back. Brownie, you need to get your internet upgraded. He's in Saudi. It is what it is. Too stingy. Terry didn't recognize him with no hair.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I hope you can read the comments here, Brownie.
Yes, I understand. Good advice, isn't it?
So TJ says Sandra is in the middle of
Well,
the
it's
desert.
did well to get up early to watch. I guess.
Okay. Even though
that name, a shiver runs down my spine.
Okay. Okay. If obviously we've got a double problem. If we have a problem with your internet, what we might do is we just take off your camera. You can take off your camera, and then we'll get more. Because at the end of the day, we'd like to have that conversation with you, so that would be much better. Don't worry, I've got pictures of you all over the place. So.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay, quick question. First question, obviously. How was a lot of people known about penguins being around, but how was the penguins created?
Created, yeah. Basically, it was 1957. A gentleman, players from their club away, and that was a Sid Cup club in Germany. And as is usual for going on tours, you have to get permission from the body. Your constituent at that stage was the RFU, and the RFU said it was not possible for any team from England to go to East Germany, and I think the words they used, and play rugby behind the Iron Curtain, because
Right.
back in 57 there was East Germany, West Germany, etc. So they couldn't go on that tour, but they weren't to be deterred, and what they did was in 1959 they got the same trip together, going different locations. So they went to Sweden, Holland, and Belgium, but not everybody from Sid Cup could go. So what they did, they 2 or 3 players from these other clubs, and they got their team together and they went away. So that's effectively how the Penguins.
All right. Okay.
And then an invitational team, because the Sid Cup had defined players from other clubs.
And what was the obviously where did they first tour to, and then how did you get to Asia, and when did it go to Asia and eventually to the Cobra 10s?
Yeah, I think the first trip Penguins ever did to Asia was to Hong Kong Sevens in 1987, and there's actually a link to Malaysia for this one as well, and that's because South Africa on the Hong Kong Sevens. So through a couple of connections, the Penguins got a call about, I think it was 7 days before the tournament started, and then they turned up in 97 to play in
Okay, we're getting a bit of a technical issue on the Saudi side. So, hang on. Can you hear us, Craig?
Hello.
Right. We're having a. Okay, hang on. Let me see if I can get him on. I'm going to try and get him back. In the meantime, yep, yeah, there you go. Right.
Hello, I can hear you.
Yep, better. Okay, so
I'm back.
you talked about from 97, you went to Asia in 97.
So yeah, and that was The first time I went to Asia was '92 on a Penguins tour, and then it was '93 was the first time the Penguins went to the Cobra Tens.
Right.
So I come along in that when we flew from London on a Wednesday evening, arrived KL on a Thursday evening. We met at the airport by none other than Nazaruddin Boharan, who was our LO for the week. He's a bit of a stern talking to on the bus into KL from the airport.
Right.
Because of what happened the year before when the Wasps players were there and got into the brief.
Yes, that's right. I remember that.
Remember that.
I was at the stadium when that happened. Yeah, it got into first time rugby got into the back pages of the newspaper, local newspaper, which was quite fun. We got some comments here. Tony Robinson saying, "Still remember Penang 2004."
That's right. At least it got in the paper.
Yeah, there's quite a few comments here. Don't call him Clegg. His name is Brownie. All right, I'm going to ignore the comments for now. Brownie, love you long time. Okay. Anyway, so from that moment on, okay, hang on.
Oh, so we lost him again.
Yeah. We'll get him, around and around. That's fine. Okay, gotcha. You're back. Yep. Okay, so
again, yeah.
From then on, obviously, when did you guys started taking the tournament seriously?
Which what? The Cobra Tens?
The Cobra Tens, yeah.
Uh-oh.
But every time we go, we take it serious.
Well, right, okay. Obviously, this is something I'm not very familiar with.
The Cobra Tens is simple. We go there because we want to win. Yeah. Obviously, the first time we went, where none of us had played tens before.
Yep.
We weren't 100% sure to expect. I don't think any of us, maybe one or two, had been to Malaysia before. And I think it was a January tournament, February, and it was so hot. The warm-up was just really step out of the shade into the sun, and But, as the records show, we won the first two tournaments we played in '93 in 94, and I was lucky enough to.
Do you remember this picture? What year was this?
You're a player in this pic.
This picture is 1995, and it's when we were playing sevens in Uruguay. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's in Uruguay. We're at Punta del Este at an international sevens.
Can you tell us a bit about, obviously bringing penguins all over the world?
That's Tony Mason in the middle at the back, one of the founders.
Right.
Ah, okay.
Okay. All right. Got it. Obviously, I mean, how many countries has the Penguins gone to around the world?
Or is there a country that you've always wanted to go to, but you've never had a chance to go there in Penguins history?
Yeah, so I mean, the Penguins have been to Mongolia, but me personally, I've never been. I'd like to go to Mongolia.
Mongolia. Well, I think they have a rugby team nowadays. Rugby's grown so much.
Yeah, I know it's.
Okay. We'll talk a bit about more of obviously the Cobra Tens side.
We sent two coaches to Mongolia for
This is a tough one, right?
Yeah. I've still got you. Greg, can still hear you. Yeah, didn't realize Saudi was so slow. Let's see whether we can we'll try and get him back. Okay, so been in and out, just trying to get. Can you hear us now? Just trying to get him back, but obviously it's been quite hard to get Brownie from Saudi at the moment. Shah Rukh Khan is a Mongolian descendant of Genghis Khan. TJ's having fun watching this.
Oh dear. 3G connection.
Okay, we'll wait for him to come back. But obviously, here we go. Let's see whether got him or not. Hello. Okay, we're back.
Well, we're jumping in and out.
Back again.
Yeah, no worries. Work through it.
Yeah, but frustrating.
No worries. Yeah, it is. Like I said, it is what it is. Tell us a bit about the, obviously not just the participation, but you guys have done a lot of work with, especially in Malaysia, with rugby development. Can you tell us a bit about that and how that came about? And obviously,
yeah, sure.
With Malaysian rugby.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, sure. So, look, we started the Penguin Coaching Academy, I think it was about 2003. And that came about with a discussion with our then sponsors, HSBC, because they were saying to us, can we help develop something else? We were looking at sort of starting a tournament in the Americas as one possible option. But, what we said was, well, why don't we start a coaching academy? Because if we can go and coach the players and their coaches, we're leaving some sort of legacy behind.
Yep.
And it also started with a conversation I had at Cobra with Charlie Wong and a couple of others about, can we send some coaches out to help coach the players? And I said, yes, we can. That wouldn't be a problem. But why don't we try and build in the coaching coaches as well? So why don't we coach the coaches as well so that they can gain more confidence, more skills, and be better equipped to coach their teams and take forward. So the first ever sort of formal trip in academy was to Hong Kong. That was in 2004. I think 2005, myself and Robbo and a couple of others started doing the trips to KL, and linking up with Charlie Wong and others. And
he suddenly got cut off.
Anyway, as you get back in, I'll just add on the Penguins. All I know is what people don't realize is that the Penguins is pretty much almost hand in hand. I mean, with Cobra, part of a grassroots program extending, I think, about 10 years, right? Pretty much over 10 years, developing rugby in Malaysia.
Okay, there you go. Sorry, you cut yourself off, but carry on.
Yeah. So that was basically how it started. Yeah, I know. I have no idea what's going on. And that's how we started. So that's how we put together the first coaches course, which we sort of took details from England Rugby's course and adapted them really to what we did in Malaysia. And we stretched the course out to 5 days. And as you know, Charlie organised for mainly school teachers to come, and they did a residential course for 5 days. And that's how it started. And now we've done course in Malaysia. Actually, we moved from our hybrid course to the World Rugby course. And I know we've done about, over 2,000 coaches have been through the courses that Cobra and Penguins have put on over the years since 2005. So that's a pretty good achievement. And I know that's really helped rugby in schools, because all of a sudden the coaches, have got new skills, lots of new drills, new confidence to coach. And I know that the visiting teams and the schoolboys teams struggled to beat the local teams because the rugby standard came on that much. So I think that's testament and a bit of a proof on how doing all this coach education has benefited rugby in Malaysia. You also know the numbers of players have grown because the players will get confidence in the coaches because the coaches have completed a course, and the coaches will see that the coaches have upskilled and delivering better sessions. So the players will be more encouraged to stick with rugby and invite their friends.
Yeah, well, it's always good to have people from the outside just coming in. So it's more of a re-education for a lot of the guys, but it does open a lot of eyes, and especially for the younger players, because we're so used to just having the local from a local context. So even though you guys come in, you've come in quite often as well, outside of the Cobra 10's windows as well. But apart from Malaysia, where else? What are the plans for obviously, but the pandemic is the pandemic. But what are the plans for the future? This is also, I'll talk about sponsorship later, but what are the plans if there was sponsorship, continuing sponsorship?
Did we lose him again?
Might have, because there's always a slight delay that we're getting, but he's I'll need to see whether try and get him back on. Fine, we'll get that. Got a comment from Captain Nazar. Hi, Brownie. I know less hair. See if we can get him back. Hopefully we can get him. There you go. All right.
Just shit too.
And you're back.
Yeah, back again.
Gotcha.
Look, coming back to your question, our plans for the future. Obviously, I don't think we'll be having any penguin activities this year. There is a chance maybe later in the year, but it depends on factors out of our control. But in the background, we're working on a couple of projects. One's in Rwanda, where we're supporting the Rwandan Rugby Union through administration and governance. We are supplying the salary for the general administrator of the Rwandan Rugby Union. We've been to Rwanda many times delivering coach and referee education, so we obviously want to continue on with that when the time is right. We also support a school out there. It used to be an orphanage, but now it's just a day school for the former people that used to live there. So we've got that project going on in Rwanda, and we're doing a bit of work at the moment to secure some funds going forward to support our work there. We have another good project in Kolkata in partnership with Future Hope Orphanage. So we're keen to get back there. Rugby's quite big in the Future Hope organisation, and so they're very keen that we go there and help with rugby. They also send us out to lots of different other organisations and community groups which are not part of Future Hope, because to help them with their rugby. Got a project in one of the slums which is near Future Hope that is basically helping the children in the slums with their English. So they're doing that for a couple of times, keen to get back into there, because that's a good thing. It was the elders, the leaders of this particular slum, their sort of community council, said, getting their children upskilled and proficient English would be one of the best things. And I think they do it for other sports as well. So that's from your point in time. Of course, very keen to get to Malaysia to help TJ.
Yeah, very keen to help TJ. Right,
Craig, I got something, because it's because what you're doing now is that you've got, obviously there's a massive effort or massive work that you're doing here, and it carries a lot of impact. And for yourself, was a player, now you're CEO, I mean, you're obviously carrying, and Penguins being such a well-traveled, and what's been the key driving force for you? And I mean, what has been the key driving force for you to carry through? I mean, just it's because it's a fair bit of work what you're doing, and it carries a lot of impact to not just from a rugby standpoint, but from people's lives. I mean, you're basically you're creating potential opportunity for all this for all the communities that you reach out to.
Yeah, good question. Yeah, interesting question, because the first to do with the Penguins was in 1992, so I've been part of the Penguin family since then. But the first trip I ever went on, it was 2.5 weeks. We went away and played 6 matches, and I just sort of reflected afterwards and thought that was pretty good. I really enjoyed that, and I'd like to help out if I can. And just over the years, from being a provincial, I became a bit more involved in the management of it. But coming back to your original question, what drives me for this? I think it's just having enjoyment or getting pleasure or learning something out of something that I do. So by organising tours for players or coaching tours, some charity money, it's always going to benefit somebody. And just satisfaction saying I was part of that, putting it together, and it's benefited people. Now, if we look at where we're benefiting people at the elite end, we've had some developing players come through and play for the Penguins in different tournaments who have gone on to be, senior All Blacks and World Player of the Year, and England stars in different countries for sure. Down to the other end of the scale, let's just take that example I was saying about the children in Kolkata, where we were helping them with their English. We had a good 1-hour session with them and help them with their English. And if that helps these children have a better life, because they can speak English, so that for them in Kolkata, then very happy to have contributed. So it's coming back to get satisfaction out of helping others and making sure that what we do, we do for the benefit or the enjoyment and the time they spend with Penguins is the best it can be.
Yeah, that's
All right.
Yeah, go ahead, Rat.
Sorry, on the matter of obviously this is something that's always on our minds, especially at clubs, and I would say a wandering club like the Penguins. Sponsorship is a massive factor when it comes to doing what you need to do, and the pandemic obviously has affected a lot of not just businesses but sports organizations as well. How do you see the Penguins move forward from here in terms of sponsorship? And you're very well aware of that.
Yeah. I think that's going to be a problem going forward for a while, is sponsorship. A lot of companies have been changing the sort of way they sort of look at sponsorship over the last few years, and I know Cobra knows that well, in terms of what they want to give to, what they expect in return, what the public image is of what they're doing, etc. So it's a lot more. That's why we're now looking at how we link other items on to our coaching trips in particular. We've got to look at social change and education as being maybe key things that we add in. From a playing side, we'll continue to tour. Originally, the Penguins did a lot of 15s, or only 15s tours. So, and we expect to be tight going forward. So we can revert to what we've done on a number of occasions in the past anyway, which is do 15s tours around Europe in particular. Maybe 2 matches, 5 or 6 days away. Costs a lot less. Players can also help by doing their own fundraising, raising their own money to contribute towards the costs. But bringing a 15s team out to Asia, for example, it's prohibitive cost really for us, although we'd like.
Oh dear.
Apologies, viewers. Technical issue.
It's Saudi Arabia. I mean, like I said, it is what it is. Although we are a developing nation, but they have the oil and the money, but we've got the internet.
But it's just, he's touched on quite serious things about education and all that, right? It's just that small moment that, yeah.
Yep.
50th. So I think we'll be looking at,
Yep, we're listening.
And just to finish, 7 10s tour obviously a bit cheaper than doing 15s tours, so we can continue with those, we hope. But it all just depends on having the right amount of money at the right amount of time.
Well, you know what? With the internet that we're having, we'll probably keep the show slightly shorter. But are we going to get a commitment from? We're definitely going to try and get a commitment from you personally to the Cobra Tents in 21 odd months' time. But we'd love to see the Penguins in its strongest form in 2022.
Yeah, love to be there for sure. But it's 23 months away, so hard to make a commitment now, is it?
Yeah.
But definitely keen. Yes.
Okay, I've got a couple of things. We've got this segment. Actually, before we go to segment, we'll just do a quick promo. Obviously, this is a weekly show. We're going to have a new segment that Dylan doesn't know about this because I'm actually getting this done. We're going to have a new segment, which is going to be. We'll give you a quick teaser, a very quick teaser, what the update's going to be about, or the segment. So obviously the RMG is the sports facility arm of the Cobra Rugby Club. Looking forward to people at Brownie and to have a look at what changes have there been with the sports hall and the likes. It's changed a lot since you last was here, and obviously, we'll give you updates on what's going on at the RMG, or rather the old sports hall, and we will give you updates on that. Brownie, there is one more thing that we'd like to show you, and this segment is very familiar to all the Cobra players. This segment is called
"Oh no, it's Snake Eyes, Snake Eyes, Snake Eyes."
Now we know that you've been a superb rugby player, but Snake Eyes did manage to get you playing at the 50th anniversary of the club. Do you remember that in 2016?
Oh, has Craig done a runner?
Remember what? Didn't hear
The
that.
2016. Do you remember playing at the friendly? It was Cobra All Boy Legends against the rest of the world, 2016. Do you remember that game?
I was a linesman.
I
I
remember that. Yes, in the 50th anniversary match.
That's right.
Yes.
Okay, so anyway, Snake Eyes managed to get a view of it. This was quite, we'll show it to you anyway. Hang on.
Oh, I don't know if I want to.
There you go, scoring a try.
There we go.
So, do you remember that?
I do. I think. Yeah, I do. I think I remember we won the game. Just it was about 4 tries all with maybe a conversion in it.
Yeah. And I remember after that try, you walked off and left the rest of the team and swapped with someone. I think that was you had enough after you scored that try.
Did the job. I'm done.
Yeah, I had to go and close the game.
It's like, okay, that's it. Okay, it's nice.
Well,
Yeah.
Dylan, I don't know why you are
Charlie
thinking.
Wong was waving
Yes.
a tiger bear at me.
Yes. So anyway, Dylan, you were saying you were the touch judge.
Assistant referee.
Yeah.
Well, do you want to have? Do you remember that bit?
Charlie for me. Most of the game.
Oh,
Snake Eyes is everywhere.
Sandra said Brownie could not walk for days after that. Yeah, I think half, 3/4 of the team couldn't walk after that. All right, can you still hear us?
Good muddy weather.
Oh yeah. I came straight from work for that one. I didn't change into any kit. I just put on I just took off my shoes and went on the field.
All right. Any final words from you, Brownie, before we go off?
Yeah, just thanks a lot, gentlemen, for having me on. So if you want to do it again, no problem. But thank you to everybody. Obviously, I've been following the news. He was, special guy, and I had a lot of him over the years, so he will be missed. So yeah, but thanks to everybody. Obviously, all the best to everybody in Cobra.
Yeah.
Stay safe.
Appreciate it, Brian.
In KL at the club as soon as able. As soon as we can get travelling again, hopefully I can head down that way. Thanks, everybody.
All right, there we go. There we have it. Apologies again for the connection from Saudi. I mean, it's not his fault, but obviously they'll need to improve on that. For those of you who've managed to watch us in and out of that conversation, we'll probably have him on again, hopefully with much better connection.
Yeah.
But we look forward to seeing you, a lot of you, in 2022. For those of you who've just joined us and are asking us about the Cobra 10s, well, obviously has been postponed to 2022. We won't have a Cobra 10s tournament this year, with the pandemic still raging in all parts of the world, and vaccine rollout has only just begun in Malaysia. So obviously we've got another 20 over months to prepare for the elusive 50th Cobra 10s. So any final words from you, Dylan?
Always. I think I hope I'm not overstepping the Penguins territory here, but I mean, reading up on the Penguins, and it's like it's interesting to note that this team is one of the more well-traveled sports team, not just a rugby team, but a sports team, and the most well-traveled. And then then they went not just from a playing team, but they involve education from the grassroots. So it's interesting work that they've done over the years, and I know when it comes to, especially nowadays, the impact that they do maybe 10 years ago or 15 years ago, can people might not see the value of it then, but you can see now with the number of kids, the number of players, the standards of rugby, the knowledge, the experience. You don't have to convince a parent for their child to play, because the parent knows about the game already, and in some form it probably is because of the work that the Penguins have done as when they travel. That moment of inspiration which they give, can stir, and I think that's a massive contribution in that sense to all of us. And what people don't realize, how much the impact that Penguins brought is, I mean, Cobra has always been in the picture, but next to the snake there's a penguin.
Exactly.
which is an interesting what I call, I don't know, it's just interesting. It's just interesting and heartwarming to some extent.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to have the snake, the penguin, dog, cat. I know which teams those are. Yeah.
Yeah, you can say
Tigers.
cat. Yeah.
Tigers. So quite a sight. But from the both of us, thank you very much and thank you for your patience for watching the show. Again, I'd like to apologize for the internet. We couldn't be helped, but we do look forward to being able to have Brownie back on the show again very, very soon. But from all of us here, let's keep the SOPs in place. I know it's still lockdown. Obviously, do the 3 W's: wash, something, and something. Wash.
Well, the club will be opening its gym again soon because we can take 30% capacity.
Yeah. I was going to be talking about that next week, but yeah,
there's quite a few things happening as well. So, slowly but surely we'll get there. We'll get back onto it again. I'm just itching to get back on the field and coaching the kids again.
That's right. Okay, from all of us here at the at Cobra TV, thank you for watching us, and we'll see you again next week. Bye-bye.
Thanks, everyone.